Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to you Akim and Aquat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. Bear with me just a moment while I go ahead and plug the Apple Pencil in. There we go. All right, so hey, Shalom once again. Hey, coming at you with another lesson. This one's titled NASA Forgot How to Put Humans on the Moon. All right, once again, NASA forgot how to put humans on the moon. And I actually forgot to bring up the article, Salakia. Let me grab that real quick. Here it is. Let me just go over here. There it is. Of course, coming from this article by Gizmodo. All right, titled, "Did NASA Forget How to Put People on the Moon?" And mine should really have a question mark in there as well. All right, so again, did NASA forgot how to put humans on the moon? All right, so getting into it, all right, this is a lesson that I've had, not a lesson that I've had, put together, but, I've wanted to put together for a while. So today I went ahead and, went through it with some scriptures. And, I wanted to touch on this. It was one of those articles that I had saved my phone for a while. And I said, man, that's, I need to get that cleared out. So I either got to, find out if I want to make a lesson on it or if I'm just not, or if the Spirit's not on me to make a lesson on it. And then, through thinking about it, all right, and meditation, all right, and thinking, what could I do on this? All right, it came out that, through the Spirit, I am going to make a lesson on it. All right, so here we go. Did NASA forget how to put people on the moon? Did they? Well, let's see. Let me see here. There we go. All right. So did NASA forget how to put people on the moon? It says NASA's Artemis program to return humans to the lunar surface is moving at a snail's pace. Here's why, and I'm sure it's going to name a whole bunch of just excuses. All right, bless you. It says NASA's plotting iterative approach to its Artemis program gives the distinct impression that it has somehow forgotten how to land humans on the moon. A closer inspection uncovers the many reasons, whether justified or not, for why it's taking NASA so long to return boots to those vaunted lunar grounds. Okay, so return boots, all right? They never landed boots there to begin with, all right? When Apollo 17 astronauts Eugene Cernan and Ronald Evans and Harrison Smith said goodbye to the moon in December 1972, no one would have guessed that at least 50 years would go by before the next set of humans would return. The closing Apollo mission ended a frenetic period of scientific and technological advancement, an era sparked by the famous space race speech given by President John F. Kennedy in 1962. Says that's not to say NASA stood idle during the post-Apollo era, which means the time, after Apollo. It says space exploration continued in different forms with probes launched to the outer solar system, space stations built in low Earth orbit, space shuttles ferrying astronauts to space, and rovers sent to Mars, among many other incredible achievements. As for putting astronauts back on the moon, not so much. They've never been back. Why? Because just can't do it. Can't. It's possible. They never went there. They never went there first to begin with, and technology's gotten so good it'd be awfully hard to fake. It says NASA is seeking to change this through its ambitious Artemis program, which kicked off in spectacular fashion last year with the debut of its Space Launch System (SLS) mega rocket, blasting off with 8.8 million pounds of thrust. SLS sent an uncrewed Orion capsule on a 1.4 million mile journey around the moon and back. So this is a view of Orion during its second close flyby of the moon during the Artemis 1 mission. All right, so take that with what you will. All right. It says the inaugural mission sets the stage for Artemis 2, a crewed journey around the moon and back, and Artemis 3, a mission to land a man and a woman on the moon in 2025, if we even make it to 2025. It says it's an achingly slow pace, but the situation is even worse than that. Artemis 4 won't happen until 2028 at the earliest. So, who knows if we're gonna even make it to that? It's not looking so. Bright for the hopes of 2028. All right, not to say that we're not gonna be here, but it's not looking like we're gonna be here for no 2028. Could we? We could end up being, but it's not looking like it. It says at the earliest, which is why the gap between missions Artemis 5 through 7 are expected to transpire yearly, starting in 2029. So they're already planning 4 or 5, and what about 6? They forgot their favorite number. Artemis 2 was, okay, and then Artemis 3, which is planned for 2025, and then Artemis 4 in 2028, and then Artemis 5, Artemis 5 through 7, okay, I thought it said Artemis 5 and 7, Slovakia. 5 through 7 are expected to transpire yearly starting in 2029. Sure, even if we had until 2029, you're not going to be able to pull it off. You still wouldn't be able to pull it off, E. It says, for NASA is one important step at a time. For NASA, it's one important step at a time, but to casual observers, it seems as though NASA has opted to reinvent the wheel. Why can't NASA more quickly manage a feat it nailed 6 times half a century ago? Yeah, it nailed it a bunch of times, or 6 times, okay? And in the past, okay? Of course, their favorite number, right? And now they just can't go back? It says it should be a piece of cake to do so now. No. It's a fair point. But the U.S. is now far removed from Cold War mentalities, and it's got vastly different priorities, both internationally, domestically, and even environmentally, because they had to win that space race for power. Because whoever won that, all right, is going to be, look how the United States is thought of with their NASA program, okay? So they had to win that. And how did they win it? By faking it, all right? They had to win it, all right, for that power. Because, Esau has that greed for power, specifically the Babylonian Edomites. All right, all Edomites do, but these Babylonian, these American Edomites are a different breed, man. They're a different breed. If you've ever talked to an English Edomite, all right, from over in England, or even some Russian, or these other Edomites from other places, they have a whole different persona about them than regular Edomite. You can tell they're still Edomites, all right. They're still devils, right? But they got a different, they're like ice cream's ice cream, but they make different flavors, right? It's the same thing with Edomites. They're Edomites, but they come in different flavors, all right. And the ones in Babylon are the most particularly vexing and worst of them all right. When you see them and how they act, they're the worst. These rednecks, these big business executives, they're some of the worst, man. Not that any Edomites great. Okay, but you see these Babylonian everywhere. Babylonian Jake, all right, is a special breed of fucked up. Okay, continuing on, I had to go back here because I hit something. It says it's a fair point, but the U.S. is now far removed from Cold War mentalities, and that mentality is trying to gain superiority even more so than they had. It says it's got vastly different priorities, both internationally, domestically, and even environmentally. The space agency is unquestionably limited by what Congress will allow, but when it comes to the slow pace of Artemis, there's something else to consider, and that's NASA's desire to maintain a human presence around the moon for the long term, and crucially, much of Artemis is predicated on an even greater ambition, landing humans on Mars. These Edomites want to go to Mars too. All right, they've never even been to the moon, and they're already trying to get to Mars. Or we can't make it to the moon. Let's get to Mars. Now, in that article, it mentioned the space race. Here's the space race. It says space race. The space race was a 20th century competition between 2 Cold War rivals, the United States and the Soviet Union. So it was basically a big dick waving contest, and that's what their ultimate goal was. All right, it was to show off. and beat, all right, the Soviet Union. Okay, so of course, you know, they're gonna say they did it, all right, and fake it so it can make it seem like they were there first. Okay, when they never made it, all right, they never made it there at all. Okay, but everyone now believes that, you know, America, the Babylonian Edomites, made it to the moon, which is a bunch of bullshit. It said the United States and the Soviet Union, that's who it was between, it said to achieve superior space flight capability. So that's what it was really for, and supremacy, all right? It says it had its origin with the ballistic missile-based nuclear arms race between the two nations following World War II. All right, and the dates was August 2nd, 1955 to July 17th, 1975. All right, so what's the current space rate? All right, USA is a new space race with a new competitor, China. All right, and of course, they're going to try to have to, you know, fake something or, you know, pull something out of their ass for that one. Now, if you look at these times, August 2nd, 1955 to July 17th, 1975, with the first moon landing, right? Coincide, wink, wink, all right, being Apollo 11, all right, that happened in July 16th, 1969. And you can read it. It says Apollo 11 was an American space flight that first landed humans on the moon. All right, now we can go back and we can look at some images here, all right? First of all, we can look at this one, okay? There's not much in the background, all right, which is kind of differing from the images that we have of the moon now. All right, this doesn't necessarily look like the images we have of the moon now. First of all, if you see that, it looks entirely different, okay? Looks entirely different. And you can see in the reflection, it's the same thing. And if you look at moon now, all right, well, the cameras are different. Well, the cameras they were using were pretty good. All right, even back in the day. All right. Moon surface. And I always do images like these, and this is actually that same. This is one of those same images, I believe. But real images, okay? So these are. Here's more, all right, of course, being of the moon, these are old photos because those are the only times that a moon landing ever happened. But when you look at, you know, moon surface footage that they get, or that they capture, okay, it never really adds up, all right? It never really adds up. So they might look similar, but something's off. Why is something off? Because these fucking devils never went there, man, all right? And they show it being pitch black in the distance. All right, they show it being pitch black in the distance, and then sometimes, you know, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. But then when you see in orbit, all right, when things are in orbit around it, it doesn't look like that. So you got to ask yourself, all right? And you can look, all right? And here's another big thing right here, the way that the flag is, all right? Moon landing flag. Oh, there we go. As soon as you type in flag, moon landing conspiracy theories debunked. Let's see what it says. No, it's not waving in the wind. Okay, whatever you say. Says, Conspiracy Theory 1, shadows in the moon landing photos prove, and this is Esau trying to cover face, and they're going to use their own science to prove their own selves right? It says, shadows in the moon landing photos prove the images were fake. Take a look at the image below and at the full panorama on the NASA website. Look closely at the shadows cast by astronaut Neil Armstrong and another object just out of shot. What's wrong with them? It says, they're not parallel. The image has been taken proof by conspiracy theorists that the moon landings were fake, and then they're just going to go on and just bullshit themselves. Let's see. Could have not survived Earth's radiation field. That's another one, and they're going to bullshit about that. Why are there no stars? Let's see. It says, the image, if the image was really taken on the moon, shouldn't the sky be filled with stars? After all, there's no atmosphere to distort the image, no clouds to interrupt the glorious view. It says, conspiracy theorists argue that the last of stars in the Apollo 11 mission photographs prove that the event was staged. NASA couldn't have faked the full wonder of the lunar sky, so they simply chose not to include any stars at all. It says, debunked. It says, Oh, here it says if you're going to take a photo of a brightly lit scene, your camera shutter speed needs to be fast and your aperture incredibly small. And in that situation, faint objects like stars simply aren't going to show up. Well, they've showed up in other photos of orbiting around the moon. All right, so supposedly, all right, if that's what they've done. So there's too many things that don't add up. What else do we got? The U.S. flag wasn't waving in the wind. All right, what else? If we haven't been to the moon, if we went to the moon in 1969, why haven't we ever been back? And it's just a bunch of bullshit. All right, just a bunch of bullshit. All right, you know it damn well. If they could go again, they'd be back there right now. All right, but they can't. They will go again. I say go again. If they could theoretically go again, they'd be back there, but they never went once, so they can't go again. All right, again. All right, once more. Right, we've learned that term before. All right. So if they never went in the first place, they couldn't go again. All right? And you say, "Oh, well, that was 1969. This would be awfully hard to fake." Awfully hard to fake. Look at how realistic that looks. It'd be awfully hard to fake. Now, not so much. Now, there's conspiracy theories, and I'll say conspiracy theories because who knows if it's true or not. I'm not going to say it's 100% true because who knows. Now, there's speculation that Stanley Kubrick, all right, famous director, all right, this guy right here, Stanley Kubrick, this one right here, I was looking it up earlier. So it says how Stanley Kubrick staged the moon landing, the Paris Review. Now there's talk about, there was an interview with him, all right, that interview you cannot find anymore really too much. You can't find it too much, but, let's see, yeah. I'm sure you might be able to find it somewhere out there, but the original video was taken down, all right? And it was apparently Stanley Kubrick talking about how NASA contacted him through, somehow when he was filming Space Odyssey, all right, and used his set to fake the moon landing because they needed to do it because, blah, 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 however it worked. All right, probably because of the fucking space race, right? Now, I'm not going to say that's real. I'm not going to say that's fake. There's not enough information out there about that. Do I believe that could be, could that be true? Yeah, that could be true. I wouldn't put it past the Edomites at all. But all I'm going to say is I'm going to get some of the footage, some scenes, all right, from 2001: A Space Odyssey, all right, and somehow, they'd never been to the moon, all right, at this point when these were filmed, all right, they'd never been to the moon. And how did they get the moon to look, as it does? Where are we? How does it? There you go. Look, how do you get the moon to look like it does? There you go. And that's talking about if he faked it. All right, and there you go, man. So there's a few photos out there of there it was. And it doesn't look exactly the same, but when NASA's going to come through, they're going to spruce it up a little bit. But if you don't think there was no technology around to fake, moon landing, look at how for 1960, what was this, 1968? Let me see. 1968, yeah. So for 1968, they were sure able to do a lot of things, man. All right, a lot of space stuff. All right, moon. There you go. They were sure able to do that. That's very, very, and that's some good effects. That's like rivaling almost 1979 with the Alien. Of course, Alien had better effects, but that was 1979 instead of 1968. All right. But you can see there's technology. There's the technology to do it, man. Okay, well, they couldn't have faked it. Well, if they had the technology to so-called go to the moon, then they definitely sure had the ability to fake a moon landing as well and take fake pictures. If they had the ability to actually go to the moon, then they sure could have had the ability to fake it as well, right? All right, of course they had the ability to fake it, but they couldn't actually do it. There's no way they could pull it off. They're liars. Had to grab a drink there. Now, I want to grab some scriptures. We're going to get, I didn't add the little brackets, my bad. Give me a minute. Why won't it come up? Let me see. Here, give me 1 minute. I know how I'll do it. I usually put them together on my phone. I don't know how to add the I don't know how to add those things when I'm not on the phone. Alright, that should do it. Let me just move out of this. Come on. Bear with me 1 minute. I don't know why it's doing this as it usually does. There we go. Boom. Alright. Alright, slack you for that. Alright, so Psalms 58 and 3. Let's go jump over there. And we're going to touch on that, which we just scrolled by in just a moment. Lord willing. Alright. Psalms 58 and 3. It reads, the wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau Edom. Who's Esau Edom? The so-called white man. Are they always white? No. Do they look white most of the time? Yes. Is that how they originally looked? Were they red originally? Yes. Okay, but not all white-looking people are Edomites. All right, I am a white-looking person. Am I an Edomite? No, an Edomite wouldn't be able to bring out this truth or call upon the name of Yahweh Ba'al Shai. All right, because that name strikes fear into the heathen. All right, they're not going to be calling upon it. So Psalms 58 and 3, it reads, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Does that mean they're literally come out of the womb speaking? No, it doesn't. It says, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Okay, so that means, as soon as they're able to, they just start speaking a bunch of lies. All right, Esau is, basically trained from a young age to lie. All right, you see these little devils walking around lying. They're already good at it. All right, they're already good at lying. Okay. Why is it not? Oh. Slakia. I accidentally had that up in the Apocrypha, so it should be fixed now that I typed it wrong. Yeah. So let's go over here. Same scripture, Psalms 58 and 3. And the Good News Translation, it says, evildoers go wrong all their lives. They tell lies from the day they are born. They are full of poison like snakes, and they stop with their ears like a deaf cobra. All right, New Living Translation. The wicked people are born sinners. No, you can't sin. No, that's not, Now, New Living Translation goes off on that because you can't sin unless you were given the law. All right, the law was not given. All right, this isn't speaking of wicked people. This is speaking of the wicked. All right, the wicked. All right, it's not speaking of wicked Israelites. All right, this is speaking of wicked Edomites. All right, and they can't be sinners because the law wasn't given to the Edomites. It was only given to the nation of Israel. So New Living Translation went off, and we're not gonna even read it because of that. So again, the King James Version, Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ear. So there you go, man. All right, and they put that poison out there. That poison is that doctrine, those philosophies. All right, those lies. You start believing. You start believing carbon dating. The Earth's 4 fucking billion years old. All right, this or that, or that. Oh, the Dark Ages. Oh, it was dark time. No, it was the Dark Ages because dark people were in rule. Or it was what about the Black Plague? I was watching a lesson from Elder Yasha Wamba out of GMS Dallas camp. He was mentioning it. All right, why do you think it was called the Black Plague? All right. But they say all these lies. No, it was because the black it was bad. The rot, necroticizing. Ripping the limbs. Or whatever they're saying. All right, and they have so many different other lies. There's 99% of what you hear is lies. All right, the science is lies. The moon landing is lies. All right, who we are is a lie. We're not African. That's what the topic that Elder Yasha Wamba was talking about. All right, in the lesson that I was watching today. All right, they say, oh, you're African. Oh, we're this and that. This is that. No, in reality, we're Israelites. Okay, we're not African. All right, our people are not African. All right, we're not, this or that. All right, we are Israelites. All right, Israelites. All right, we're not, Mexicans. All right, we're Israelites. We're not Native Americans. We're Israelites. We're not Africans. We're Israelites. All right, or blacks. All right, or whatever they want to call our people. All right, we are Israelites. All right, from our respective tribes. Okay, Gad, Issachar. All right, Judah. Okay, Gad being the so-called Native Americans, Issachar being the so-called Mexicans, and then Judah, of course, being the so-called Negroes. All right, or at least one part of them. All right, you got Levi and Benjamin as well, the Haitians and the Jamaicans. Sorry, the Islanders, Pacific Islanders, right? Being Benjamin, and then Levi. Of course, the Haitians. So, hey, man, and of course, Judah being the so-called, American Negro, right? So, hey, man, but the people have believed in their lies, man. They believed in their lies, okay? And they've, everything, the moon landing, who we are, who they are, what this is, what that is, how long we've been here. All right, this about Israel, that about Israel. Oh, who the Israelites are, who the Caucasians really go back to, or what else? As it was mentioned in Elder Yashawama's videos, Darwinism and evolution and all these things, everything, man. All right, protons and neutrons and this and that, and how grass grows and how the earth thrives, and that we're running out of water when we're not running out of water, and that global warming and this and that. It's all just a bunch of bullshit, man. It's deception. It's lies. All right, because that's Esau's forte. All right, as they say. All right, that's their forte. That's what they're perfect at. Well, not perfect, because the Most High is, messing the way they, what is this? 1 minute. All right, slack you. But, that's the thing that they're, very good at. Not perfect, but very, very good at, all right? And the Most High is revealing them, all right? So, they're not going to be as good as they used to be when they're starting to be revealed by the Most High, right? So let's go and get Job 13 and 4. This is a shorter lesson today, all right? But I wanted to get in on it, all right? This is Job 13 and 4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies, you're all physicians of no value." So we've gotten this many times, and we'll get it many times again, Lord willing, that the Most High keeps the Spirit on me, and I continue in this truth, right? And I continue to be here teaching this word. So you're forgers of lies. Forging, all right? Now, let's just go and get forge. What does it mean to forge? That's going to say, it's to fake something. That's not the one we're looking for.
Forge.
All right, forge, okay? To make a shape or metal object by heating it in a fire or furnace and beating it and hammering it. Now, there's form, hammer out. Look, it goes back to the word make, all right? Make. They make these things. If you forge a hammer, you made that hammer. If you're forging lies, you made that lie, okay? Let's get a forge definition. It says 2 of 3 verb, to form something, such as metal by heating and hammering. All right. Definition 3 is what we really need. All right. It says to form or bring into being, especially by an expenditure of effort. All right. So what does that mean? What is that? To bring into being, to make, right? They make lies. And we know what a physician is, right? We know what a physician is. What is a physician? All right. If you look up physician, it's going to give you places to go to the doctor right now. Watch. How do you spell it? Okay. Here we go.
Physician.
Physician. A person qualified to practice medicine. They're physicians of no value. So what? They shouldn't be, dealing with medicine, because they can't help you, all right? Our people have the real medicine, all right? Through, use of, prayer, most importantly, all right? And the herbs, all right, that the Most High has given us, and through stones, all right, and healing, all right? You can heal ailments, all right? Esau says, take this pill, all right, and you'll be fine, all right? So you got a headache, and you take this pill for a headache, but now you got a stomach ache. And they say, now you need to take this pill to get rid of that stomach ache. But it turns out that pill that you had for your stomach ache is now causing you to blow ass hard now. And so now you're sitting on the toilet all day, shitting your brains out. So, now you need a, like a, not a stool softener, but like a a stool hardener, all right, and they give you that. But guess what? That causes you to bleed out of your eyes profusely. Oh, so your eyes are bleeding profusely. Now you got to take this other pill, and that causes you to lose your hearing, so on and so forth. That's not medicine. That's not medicine at all, man. Here I am, I got a headache, and you give me a thing for it, and all of a sudden I got a stomach ache, all right, I go and take something for the stomach ache, and now I'm sitting on the toilet all day. That ain't medicine. You just fucked me up even worse. I'd rather have just dealt with the headache at that point. Now I'm taking 34 pills with blowing my asshole out. My eyelids are bleeding. I can't hear out of one ear. I can't. I got a limp in the left leg. But oh yeah, I'm surely healed, right? I'm surely healed. Taking 42 fucking pills a day. Absolutely not. That's why I don't take none of those medicines. I'm not saying that you're going off, all right, by taking those medicines, all right. Of course, you should consult the apostles about it before taking any medication, because a lot of that can just be done, through herbs, all right, through herbs. But again, we're not, as in Esau society, we're not doctors, so we can't give out advice like that. But hey, man, consult the apostles with that stuff, because a lot of the time that medicine's gonna fuck you up worse than what you have in the first place. And there's remedies for certain things. You get headaches a lot, there's remedies for that, man. Get some lavender and get some mint, all right, and chamomile, and blend it up in a tea. Put some rosemary in there while you're at it, and blend it up into a tea, and boil it on the stove, or heat the water really hot and put it into a Pyrex glass, all right, and stir it up real good, all right. I have a video, I did it a long while ago, all right, and then drink that, all right. Drink that, man. All right, that'll make you feel great, okay? But, or you can just take Esau's medicine and see how that works out for you, all right? It's going to cost you a lot of money, and you're still going to be ill, all right? And it might make you get worse, too, all right? So if you look up herbs and you get into herbal healing and herbology, all right, there's a lot of things that Esau doesn't want you to know, because you got to realize all those pills came about by John D. Rockefeller, because he wanted to monopolize the market of medicine, all right, by using synthetic petrochemicals, all right, pharmaceuticals, all right, and basically what he did was he bought out, all right, all the medical practicing joints, all right, all the colleges and whatnot, and established a new doctrine, all right, a new curriculum, all right, that they had to follow, and if they didn't follow it, their medical practitioner's license would be taken away, all right, and he called, all those old things were just quackery. All right, quackery is, shit that don't work. All right, even though, he called, stuff like using citrus fruit for scurvy, quackery, when it had been fucking known to work. But he said, oh, no, that doesn't work. You need to take a pill. All right, and that's what these people have done. All right, what before pills? Pills are a relatively new substance. All right, and what did people just suffer before? No, people had remedies for that. All right, and he went over and tried to pull that shit in China and didn't work out. All right, that's why modern medicine never really took off in China. It's there, but a lot of people still rely on the ancient Chinese medicine, as they call it, which they got from us anyway. All right, because Moab's not excellent healers. All right, so again, Job 13:4, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no values. And we just talked about lies about lies about lies about lies. It's all lies. They lied about the medicine too. They lied about this. They lied about that. They lie about everything, man. All right. These people lie about everything, okay? If there's anything that they've said, there's probably a lie in there somewhere, or it's a lie entirely, okay? It's all lies, man. It's all lies. Once again, Job 13:4, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. And we kind of rambled on about physicians, but that too, man. Maybe I'll have to go on a lesson about that, the physicians and, about that too again. All right, it kind of deals with lying again, so I might have to wait a little bit, because I don't want to have two lessons about lying back to back. But still, all right, Esau's going to be in there, so we'll just have to see, man. But these people are liars, and they're physicians of no values. They're liars. They lie about everything, and they can't help you medicinally. Okay, so this is from the Reddit conspiracy page, and a lot of the stuff on there is a bunch of bullshit. But I was reading through this, and I saved it, because this all goes through, I think that he cites sources in most of this. I guess he doesn't, but these are things you can look up. All right, we'll read some of them. Again, take these with a grain of salt. I'm not saying they're 100% factual, and I'm not saying they're not factual either. Some of these things can be true, but do know it's this guy, Artistic Ton 1122, things that he's found out through the internet. So it's all according to him, and certain things that he's found on the internet. So again, don't take it as all 100% factual, but these are just some 8 reasons to doubt the moon landing. And I saved them because I was reading through these and I said, damn, it's true. So we're just going to get a couple of them. Let's get number one. It says the lunar module, LM, is not likely to have ever existed. Such a machine that can land on the moon with reverse rocket thrusters, then take off again with enough space velocity to leave the moon and fly 70 miles to magically dock at another craft is something from a sci-fi movie, not real life. That such technology existed in the 1960s or even now is bonkers. Even more absurd is that it worked despite never have being tested. I didn't know about that. It says 6 times without a glitch. And there's that term. They love that word 6, right? Much lesser forms of technology have taken hundreds, if not thousands, of tries to get right. Furthermore, the blueprint for this miracle technology was destroyed and is no longer available. So that one, see, and that's why I save some of these things because, I'm sure he has some, I really prefer it when they cite sources. But they do try to get rid of a lot of these sources. All right, so it's true. Let's see, lunar module blueprint. Let's fact check it. Let's see. Do you believe NASA when they state that they destroyed the technology to return to the moon? All right. Let's see. More accurately say we didn't maintain the capability to return to the moon. There's a bunch of ifs, ands, or buts all around it. All right. Let's see. How we lost the ability to travel to the moon. So the jigs were assembled, the molds were destroyed, the technicians, engineers, scientists, and flight controllers moved on to other jobs, and that's from Forbes. All right, the jigs were assembled, the molds were destroyed, the technicians. Okay, so yeah, all the molds and everything for it it's gone. All right. It says Saturn V blueprints have been lost. So yes, it does say that they've lost. So hey, these hoax conspiracy theorists have built on these reports to claim that the blueprints, so they just lost them. It seems like a little important of a thing to just lose. Seems a little important to just lose. What's else to say? Radiation kills. All right. It says, so says James Van Allen and every other scientist who's considered the issue of sending men beyond Earth's orbit. Not only would the astronauts face significant radiation in the Van Allen belt, but would be at high risk during the entire trip outside of the belt, including while frolicking around on the moon. Studies suggest that radiation should have been much higher than reported among the astronauts and can't seem to explain why their alleged radiation intake was so low. Doesn't add up. So the Artemis mission plans on testing radiation levels before embarking on its journey to the moon. Apparently the Apollo missions had no such concern. NASA openly admits those astronauts had no protection from radiation. Let's skip down to photography. Photography. The pictures from Apollo mission are quite literally unbelievable. Neil Armstrong has to be one of the most gifted photographers of all time. As Dave McGowan points out, to fully appreciate the shots he took, one should put on a pair of thick winter gloves and a motorcycle helmet and walk around in the neighborhood snapping pictures at chest level and see how they turn out. That's true. It says, with no way to focus the lens or see what you're taking a picture of, you'd be shit out of luck when it comes to taking a good shot. But not Neil Armstrong. The guy can do it all. Also, there are no stars in the background when there clearly should have been. The moon has no atmosphere, thus the luminosity of the stars is many times greater. The astronauts also claim they don't remember seeing stars. So they said they don't even remember seeing stars. Not only did they not have the picture, they said they don't see any. There would have been stars, man. It says athletic ability. Prior to the alleged moon landing, scientists somewhat gleefully speculated what men may be able to go on the moon due to reduced gravitational pull. Waiting only 1/6 of what they did on Earth, there'd be an opportunity for some cool athletic feats. Even with bulky suits, astronauts should have been jumping out of the gym. We're talking at least 3-4 feet high. Instead, they did lame bunny hops and never got more than 18 inches off the ground. Also, what's up with the moving in slow-mo? If you speed up the film, it basically just looks like men running around the desert with spacesuits. I've never done that before. Let's see. Let's go check it out.
everything. 514.
I don't want to get a copyright strike here. Give me 1 minute.
Where you're shipping?
Let's see.
2. I believe it's Charlie.
Let's see. Let's speed it up to. They probably did it at least half. Let's see. There you go, and we sped it up a little bit. Let's see.
And you.
Let's see.
20 seconds.
Let's speed it up. Let's see. Yeah, they're just basically just bopping, just hopping up and down, man. There you go. So we don't need too much more of that. I just wanted to check on how accurate that explanation was. It does look pretty shitty when they're hopping around, and it's true. When they're talking about the like he says, they should have been jumping out of the gym like 3 or 4 feet. It's just true, because if you watch the videos that NASA put out of them, hopping around the space when they're in the actual ship, modern ones, from like 2015, 2016, and so on and so forth. They show things, when they're in the ship, throwing things from one side to another and flying, or they'll push off the back of something, and they'll rocket through the whole thing. But when they were on that, they're basically just only hopping a couple inches off the ground, so the fuck is that? So let's see. Prominent characters and their motivations. This is LBJ and Richard Nixon were not known for their honesty. Scandals plagued their administrations and ultimately forced Nixon out of office. Their handling of the Vietnam War was a disaster. A distraction from their wrongdoing was necessary and couldn't have come at a better time. A successful moon landing could restore faith in government and provide a morale boost for the public. Neither president would have been above lying about such a thing to boost their approval. And as I laid out in a previous piece, the head of NASA at the time was an actual Nazi, all right, because they took him over from World War II in Germany. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Awkward astronauts. And that's the other thing. It says, awkward astronauts, the men who allegedly performed the incredible feat of moonwalking, do not act triumphant. They act like people who just got away with a crime. Neil Armstrong had never given a sit-down interview, and Buzz Aldrin punches people in the face when they challenge him on the subject. The press conference after the third astronaut's return from Apollo 11 will go down as one of the most bizarre and awkward of all time. They couldn't answer the most basic of questions about their experience. And that's probably because if they said the wrong thing, they'd be drawn out back and shot. So just some things to keep in mind. All right, I'm not saying those are factual. Some of them seem to add up. All right, and that's why I put them in there. All right, now a lot of that Reddit conspiracy stuff is a bunch of fucking bugged out shit. But every once in a while, you'll have something about the how do I want to say it? The 9 to the 1 to the other 1 attacks. All right, as well as the moon landing hoax. All right, because it's fake. It's just. I mean, look at the shit. It looks fucking ridiculous. It looks like an episode of Teletubbies, man. So Revelation 20 and 7 and 8, and this is Esau, man. This is what they were set to do. All right, after that 1,000 years in captivity under us. All right. So if you scroll up, it talks about And so here it is in 20 and 2. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, Esau Edom, that old serpent, which is the devil, all right, Esau Edom, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. All right, so 1,000 years, what does that mean? Well, let's go down to 3. It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. All right, so right now he's loosed a little season. Now, if you want a better explanation into this, I recommend going to the Apostles, because as they'll even tell you, Revelation 20 is a very deep chapter. All right. And, I'm basically just getting into the basics of it. All right. So a seal was placed on Esau. All right. That under Jacob, all right. This is during the period that they call the dark ages, all right. And they call it dark ages for the reason, all right, because we were ruling over them, all right. So and that period was 1,000 years. Now after that 1,000 years, all right, they would be loosed from that, all right. And that's when the whole siege went down, all right, and we were overthrown, all right, and then the whole revival, the Renaissance period took place instead of the Dark Ages. It started moving on into the Renaissance, all right. And the Renaissance means revival, rebirth. All right. Now in verse 7, Revelation 20 and 7, it says, and this is after that happened. This is during the Renaissance period, and it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and he shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. And then what else? It says, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And Magog is speaking of the Russians, and that's going to happen as well. But the point for this lesson is talking about deceiving the nations, and that's exactly what they did. All right, when they were loosed, what did they do? They went forth and deceived the nations. How did they deceive the nations? They went and said, oh, we're the Israelites. They went through on crusades, and not necessarily like a crusade, but so on, something like that. All right, establishing their fake Christianity with what's his name, Serapis. All right, and all that, and all their idol worship and their pageantry, throwing that throughout the nations. All right, saying that they're the Israelites, going, or that the Israelites are white, whitewashing, busting off noses of statues, scraping off paintings. All right, or over painting things and making them, look white instead of brown, or like making them look red really instead of brown. All right, so on and so forth. All right, doing things like this and like that. All right. That's what they did, deceive the nations, and they're still deceiving the nations. All right, because we haven't gotten the battle with that they're going to bring Gog and Magog together to battle. All right, so we're still waiting on that. So they're still deceiving the nations. All right, are the nations not still deceived? The nations are still deceived. Our people still think they're African. All right, the other nations think they're this. The Asians think they're, the Chinese people think the Moabites think they're Chinese. They don't know they're Moabites. All right, the only ones that really know who they are the Ishmaelites. All right, because they know they're Ishmael. They go back to Ishmael. All right, but the Japanese people, they don't know that they're Ammon. All right, a lot of our people don't know that they're Israelites. All right, now there's a good chunk of a lot of our people that do know, but there's a lot of people that don't as well. All right, a lot of the Edomites don't know that they're the Edomites. All right, they think they're just Caucasian. The high up Edomites, they know they're Edomites. All right, they know what nation they go back to. That's why they hide it. That's why they hide that information. All right, and so they're still deceiving. They're still deceiving, and they've deceived that way. They deceived by saying, "Oh, we've gotten the moon." They've deceived by what nations are which is which. How long is this? How long is that? The times. All right, the calendars. They've deceived in every single way that they could deceive. They have deceived. All right, so let's get Revelation 12 and 9. We're getting close to wrapping it up here. Because these people are liars, man. All right, as we gotten before, they're liars. All right, so Revelation 12 and 9, it reads, and the great dragon was cast out. This is speaking of the end days, right? It says, and the great dragon was cast out, and that old serpent, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, Esau Edom, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out in the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, so there you go, and that's coming. That's coming time. All right, he's gonna be casted out. All right, and it's not gonna be so good for him. All right, we got Revelation 21 and 8 coming, which is really not gonna be good for him because he's all those things. All right, mentioned in Revelation 21 and 8. But first, we got to go get Proverbs 12 and 22. All right, showing you what the Most High thinks of liars in general. All right, because these people are liars. This is for this is for you Israelites as well, because a lot of you are liars as well. All right, so just in general, what the Most High thinks about liars. Now, he has a specific bone to pick with Esau, but he doesn't like liars in general. But guess what? Esau is also a liar. So Proverbs 12 and 22, it reads, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. And Esau doesn't deal truly, all right? So he's not the delight. And Esau hates the Most High, and the Most High hates Esau, all right? So, and that's scriptural, all right? Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, all right? Look it up, all right? It's scriptural, all right? He doesn't hate anybody, but it just said he did. All right, let's get Revelation 21:8, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. All right, so don't believe these people, man. Oh, we're going back to the moon. We can't do it necessarily right now. We're planning other things. You can't go back. You never went back. You can't go back because you were never there to begin with. Okay, you can't go back because in order to go back to somewhere again, you had to have been there before, and you never went there before. That's why mysteriously all the blueprints went missing. That's why all the footage doesn't add up. That's why when you're asked about questions, you're very secretive. It's the same thing, just recently with Elon Musk, and they did that thing where they orbited in the SpaceX, and when they couldn't speak about certain things. All right. They had to be very hush-hush, and every time someone spoke about it, Elon's kind of looking like, hey, you better not say nothing, all right? Revelation 21:8, and that's older. That was like I don't remember, like a couple years ago. I remember reading about it when it happened, or seeing some of the video, I believe. And my wife also mentioned it to me too, because she was watching. You see how he looked? And I'm like, yeah, it's true. I remember seeing that video back in the day, all right? Because I believe it was frequenting in this truth. I believe brothers were passing it around and making videos on it too, because that was a bunch of bullshit too. They didn't go up there either. All right, they didn't go up there either. They didn't go up and orbit around the Earth. They didn't do it either, man. All right, it was a lie. So Revelation 21:8, and this is a scripture we're gonna grab, and then we're gonna close out. This is what Esau's all of these things, right? And so this is what's gonna happen to them. Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. What is that? That's speaking of that nuclear missile fire. All right, you're going to have a giant backyard pool, all right? But instead of water, guess what it's going to be? Nuclear missile fire. All right, it's not going to be fun. All right, go for a swim in that, and you are. All right, and the ones that make it out, guess what? You're going to be the first to go into captivity. All right, and then your seed's going to be brought forth that, and they're going to go into captivity. And after 1,000 years, guess what? You're going to have 1,000 years in the kingdom as well. All right, and after that 1,000 years up of your captivity, guess what? You're going to just be done away with. All right, and you'll never return as a nation. So NASA forgot how to put humans on the earth? No, it was all a lie. They never put humans on, or not. I said the earth, moon. NASA forgot how to put humans on the moon? No, they can't forget something you never knew how to do. They never did it. They never put humans on the moon. All right, they never did, and they never will. All right, so hey, NASA forgot how to put humans on the moon? That's been this lesson. All right, and it's just a bunch of BS coming from Esau. All right, from Uncle E. You're bullshitting on, from Brother E. I should say brother, because he's our brother. Our bullshitting Brother E. All right, it's always lying. All right, everybody has one of those in the family, right? Ours just happens to be Esau, our brother, right? Our wicked, evil brother, Esau. All right, the liar, the murderer. All right, so they didn't forget. They never did it. All right, they didn't forget how to put humans on the moon. They never put humans on the moon. It was all lies to push an agenda, to be a display of power. All right, to bring back trust in America. It's all just a fucking lie, man. It's a lie. Lie. All right. So, hey, man, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, as the scripture says in Psalms 58 and 3, right? So with that, we're going to close out, all right? Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwidash. I'm going to give double honors to elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, Shalom.